Hey, Two Cows Gaming fans. This week on John Cow's Corner, we are talking open world games. I got 5 of my favorites that I'm going to recommend to you, and then we're going to be playing probably one of the most open of open world games, but I don't want to say too much about it. I think it won't come as any surprise to those of you that know me and have been with the show for a while. But having said that, let's jump into the show. Welcome back to John Cow's Corner. I am John Cow, one half of the dynamic duo known as Two Cows Gaming, the other half being my sidekick Dom Cow. We're going to get some housekeeping out of the way before we get into the games. I want to direct you to the description in the video or in the podcast, depending on whether you're watching or listening. Go check out the blog at TwoCowsGaming.com. Subscribe to the podcast, hit that like, give us some feedback, let us know what you're thinking. If there's any games you'd like to see us cover or a genre that you want us to touch on, please let me know. You can also follow and subscribe to our Twitch stream. We stream once a week, although due to this weekend being the holiday weekend, we are not streaming. We will be back next week streaming. I haven't decided what game that I'm going to be playing on stream. I'm leaning towards Unicorn Overlord or Dragon's Dogma 2, but we'll see. I stream every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. till noon Central Standard Time. So come and join us for the craziness. While you're out there, hit up TikTok, hit up Facebook. What else? That's about it. You can find this podcast on YouTube or on Spotify, and also on YouTube. There's all kinds of other goodies, shorts, game reviews, at which I wanted to point out I will be releasing my first monthly game review. I'm shooting towards the 3rd week in April, but it might spill over to the last week in April. I'll keep you posted here at the podcast. But with that, we are gonna jump into the games. I've got 5 really good ones that I picked out to talk about, and then another one that we're gonna play on stream. So without further ado, let's jump into the games. Alright, we're back after that short break. So today we're talking open world games. I've got 5 of them picked out that I really think most of you'll enjoy. You'll kind of get where I'm coming from as I talk to you about them. They're all relatively recent, and they're on all platforms, including Switch. So the first one I want to talk about is, of course, Elden Ring. This was the first Dark Souls type game that I ever played. It's made by the same company that did all the Dark Souls games and the Armored Core games, From Software. And it was my kind of like my inaugural venture into the Souls-like games. And I was completely taken aback at how good the game actually was. I won't call it a masterpiece, but it's up there. It's pretty close. Visually, it's stunning. The controls are fantastic. Combat is fluid. The boss designs are nothing short of magnificent. And the world is huge. You're very grateful you have the Mount Torrent when you're traveling around the different areas. So, Dark Souls. Elden Ring was released in 2022. I I bought it immediately. You know, I actually reserved it. Um, you know, George R. Martin, the author of the Game of Thrones series, he contributed to the lore of this game and really grounded this in a fantasy world. Why I love it, the boss design is fantastic. They're all unique, and there's just so much variety in the bosses. They're all just top notch. I like the size of the world. I love that I can just get lost and pick a direction and just explore and find different things to look at. The variety of weapons and armor that you can get, how you level up your character. It doesn't even bother me that it's a Souls-like. You know, if you die and you fail to regain your ruins, it's not the end of the world. You do spend a lot of time farming in this game, so it is a little grindy, but I'm okay with it. Right now, the screen you're seeing, I was playing a little bit on my NG+. It took me about 300 hours to beat. Now, I didn't rush by any sense of the imagination, but I missed an entire area. So, you know, it is possible to beat the game without going to every area, but it made it tougher in the end game, fighting the Elden Beast. So you're going to want to be careful about that and explore all the different areas. It's been a while since I played, so you're seeing me teach myself the controls again, which is quite humorous. But overall, it's a great entrance into the Souls games. It's a good way for somebody who maybe doesn't have any experience with those to get into them. Now, the only real criticisms I have, I wish the map was a little bit more intuitive and had better functions. And I wish there was a more informative or better journal to kind of keep you on the path of where you needed to go. You know, at times when I was playing, I felt lost. I didn't know where to go. But you know, part of me thinks that that was by design on the part of From Software. But, you know, it's hard to go wrong with this game. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of replayability here because there's so many different classes, different ways to build your character. This particular character was a samurai, and then I created a bleed build with him, which most players would agree is kind of like easy mode for Elden Ring. Kind of right up there with Sword and Board, but definitely check it out. Roots of the Erd Tree is coming out in June, or Shadows of the Erd Tree is coming out in June. It's supposed to be a massive expansion, and it's well worth it. I'm looking forward to it. So now is the time to play if you want to get caught up. So yeah, Elden Ring by From Software. The next game we're going to talk about is it's the continuation of a franchise that when it originally debuted, I wasn't sure what to make of it, but after the first game, I absolutely fell in love. And this one is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's a spin-off of the Borderlands games. It's basically a game within the game. So you're playing a version of Bunkers and Badasses with Tiny Tina and other characters. And it's just a reimagination of the Borderlands world. This game debuted in 2022, March of 2022. It's published by 2K. It's originally developed by Gearbox. You can get it on all platforms. I love it because of the crude humor, The colors are bright and really pop. I love the comic book style of the artwork. And the story is actually pretty close to what you'd find in a Dungeons and Dragons kind of RPG. Um, and then of course the loot, sweet loot. That's what these games are all about: getting the best loot. They, the developers of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands are the masters of procedurally generated loot. So even if you have a weapon that is basically the same body and name as other weapons in your inventory, it may not have the same abilities. There are 7 character classes you can choose from. I don't want to ruin anything, but you can mix and match the skills as you level up. The only real criticisms I have is, where the hell is the holy hand grenade of Antioch? Why is that not a part of this? Or even just a nod to it. There aren't grenades in this game. There are spell-like effects, and then there are abilities that you trigger. A lot of them are inspired by fantasy role-playing games. There's spell books, but it's a great game. If you love their kind of humor and you love the Borderlands games, this is no different. There are 5 different expansions out right now. You can get, like I said, you can get it on all of the platforms: Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Switch, and Mac. So definitely check it out. I've spent probably, I want to say 40 hours or so playing this game, and I'm not bored with it at all. I've just been distracted by other games that came out, because this came out not long after Elden Ring, and so the bulk of my time was spent playing Elden Ring. So I'm playing a little bit of catch-up, trying to get through this game. It's not very grindy. All of the areas are leveled according to your character level, and then there's an overworld segment, so you travel between the different areas. It's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons 3-dimensional map, which is pretty cool. So if you're looking for kind of an offbeat open world looter shooter RPG, you can't go wrong with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So check that one out. Number 3 is a game that either you love it or you hate it. Me personally, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think what CD Projekt Red tried to do with this game was very cool. And that is Cyberpunk 2077. This was released in 2020. And it did not have the best launch. When it launched, it had so many bugs and visual problems that a lot of the players who bought this demanded refunds. And then you add to that the Xbox Series S and PlayStation 5 versions didn't come out until 2022. 2 years after the initial release of the game, and it was just a terrible launch. But since then, they've released Phantom Liberty, and they've repaired a lot of the issues with this game, and it's a lot of fun. If you're a fan of Shadowrun, it's got some Shadowrun influence. It's got classic RPG. It's got a little bit of GTA in there. The reason I love it is it feels like you're in Blade Runner. It's got a lot of the same trappings as Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. You can explore the game any way you want. You don't have to follow a scripted kind of adventure. And you have so much flexibility in how you build your character, which to me is gold. I like tailor making my player or my character to my style of play. And did I mention that Keanu Reeves is kind of a big deal in this game? So it's so worth checking out. I will say this is a mature game. It is not appropriate for little kids. It deals with a lot of sexual situations and nudity. So please don't let your kids play this or watch you play it. This is intended for adults, and it should be played by adults. Um, about the only thing I really have for criticism is there are still some visual issues that this game is dealing with. I wish that they would fix it, but they said with their last big title update that they're not going to be doing any more work on this. They moved on to the next game that they're developing, and they're being extremely hush-hush about what that game is. If I were a betting man, I would bet it's another Witcher game. But, you know, it's worth your time. The gunplay's a little loose, the driving's a little loose, but the story is actually fantastic. So check out Cyberpunk 2077. You won't be disappointed. We have reached number 2, and number 2 should not be any surprise at this point. You know, I kind of attribute it to the whole series, but when this game came out, I had to have it. Again, I ordered it ahead of time, and that game is Fallout 4. It was released in 2015. It has had an incredible run. There are still mods being made for it heavily on PC, and those mods are also, by extension, on the Xbox and PlayStation. It has a great story. It has amazing visuals. The music stations make the game. I don't know. The gunplay is great. Everything you do, with the exception of creating settlements, just that never has appealed to me as a gamer. I don't want to create settlements. If I want to create a settlement, I'll play SimCity or something similar to that, or SimCity Skylines. This is just, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I know that they help you progress in the game, but to me it seems like it's unnecessary. There are some visual issues with the game, but overall, you know, I've logged close to 250 hours, and that's nowhere near how many hours you can log in this game. There's several expansions and add-ons that they've released. On PC, there's also an unauthorized mod that is really more like DLC. And I've heard nothing but good things about that. So, you know, check it out. To me, I just love running around in my power armor and exploring the world that this takes place in. Now, this is set in Boston, following an apocalypse. There's all kinds of different armor and weapons you can gather, collect, and mod. There's different factions warring for control of the Boston area. And, of course, there's the overarching storyline of trying to find your son. So it's got everything. It ticks all the boxes. Let's put it that way. It's only number 2 because number 1 in my list exists, and we will get to that right now. I'm gonna just jump right in. Here it is, Skyrim. I have purchased the Xbox 360 version and I bought the deluxe version that came out with the 4K support. I've logged about 415, 420 hours in this game. It's a game that makes me feel like I'm in the Lord of the Rings. I love it. It's probably the best Bethesda game out there right now, in my opinion. Um, I got my brother hooked on this. Uh, you know, it's a great game. There's so many different ways to make armor and weapons and enchant them, and it's a massive area to explore. The story is engrossing. There was a huge expansion where you hunt another dragonborn, or yeah, and it's hard to criticize this game, but I do have a couple criticisms. Much like Bethesda's games always are, it was extremely buggy when it was released. This was originally released 11/11/2011. I was at the midnight release. Bought the collector's edition, which came with with a statue of Alduin, the main big bad in this game. Um, you know, it was very buggy at launch. How do you have a Bethesda game with no goblins? That kind of threw me. And I feel like there's just way too many dragon encounters. I like that there are dragons, but I don't want to encounter one every 5 minutes. And sometimes, and for a while there was a bug where you would encounter like 5 or 6 all at once. And that really bothers me in a game. It's like you're going to the well too many times because you don't have enough other enemies to fight. I mean, there's barbarians, there's giants, there's mastodons, there's spiders, there's Droger, there's, all these other enemies, but you don't have goblins, you don't have some of the other critters that are staples of high fantasy. And so it's just like, oh, well, we're gonna go back to the dragon well and drop a dragon in your lap. And after you unlock all of the power words and you get all of the dragon-based gear, it almost feels like you don't need to fight dragons anymore. So those are my big criticisms. I wish there was more than just 2 expansions to it. I think they could have done a lot more with this game. It felt kind of like they said what they wanted to say, but they didn't bring any additional stuff to the table like Fallout 4 did. And I would have liked to have seen them do something along that line. But it's still... if I'm going to play a game where I can design my character and adventure at my own leisure, it is my go-to game. I love that I can develop my character however I want. I like that I was able to develop a sneak and snipe character who wears heavy armor. He also dual wields very effectively. It's just a fun game, through and through. I never get bored when I'm playing it. Visually, it's stunning. The atmosphere is fantastic. The music is great. I just can't. I can keep heaping praises on it all day long. But that's what I wanted to say. Is if you're looking for a masterpiece game, Skyrim is about as close as you're going to get to it. Like I said, I played about 420 hours or so. And it still grips my attention. So that is my list of 5 open world games that I recommend to you. I hope you enjoyed it. And up next is my play segment. So I'll be right back after the break. What the heck happened here? Oh, I gotta turn it on. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, with the screens playing out in front of you, my game that I chose to play today is No Man's Sky. I absolutely love this game. It came out in 2016, and it panned right out of the gates. You know, it was oversold and underperformed, or like underdelivered by Hello Games. There were a lot of features that they said they were going to bring, but they never did, or they didn't for a long, long time. But they've been supporting it ever since it came out. They've released, I think they said the last update was the 36th update or something like that. And they also said it's finally in a state that they feel reflects the game they had envisioned a long time ago. Now, I'm playing on the PlayStation 5. I also have this for the Xbox Series X, but I've logged most of my hours on the PlayStation. As of right now, I have 192 hours logged in this game, and I don't see myself stopping at this point. There's just so much to love about the game. You know, visually, it's gorgeous. The ability to upgrade your ships and buy additional ships, and then now they've added squadron support in the game. It's what they've done is nothing short of amazing, especially when you consider the launch, how terrible the launch was. Talk about comeback. This is that a oh, that's the Atlas station, I think. Yeah, it's a space anomaly. We're not gonna go there. We're gonna go to the regular space station, I think, if I can find it. Well, let's see what's on this planet. But this game reminds me quite a bit of... There was a game a long time ago called Starflight. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And this game reminds me so much of that game. You have all kinds of different races you can encounter. Some are hostile, some are not. The most hostile being the Sentinels. Now, I'm going to... Full disclosure here, I've been so wrapped up in exploring this game that I haven't made it to the end game yet. I've just been so absorbed in fighting pirates and checking out the different star systems and galaxies that... Wow, this is all new. Now, this is the first time I played it since they brought out the orbital update. So this is all new to me. So if I take my time while I'm playing it, don't take it personally. This is just crazy. But like, you can talk to these techs, these other traders, And you can offer to buy their ship if you want. You can learn their languages. But it's like, I don't know. It's like if Starflight and Minecraft had a little baby Jesus game that was perfect in every way. But this game has gone through so many iterations and different kind of builds. It's like always a new game when you start playing it. Like, this is completely different than it was originally. It used to be the shops were on the left and right side of the hangar, and it did not look at all like this. It was very, how can I put it, sterile looking, and not a lot going on. This actually feels like a real space hub. Like I mean, whoa, what do we got here? Wait, can I take over a space station? Wow, that's awesome. But ultimately, the whole point of the game is to find out why you're here. Wow, none of this was... I mean, this is all new. This update just dropped, I want to say 2-3 days ago. And I just patched my game this morning. But I wanted to wait to check this out until it was during the podcast. And I'm very impressed. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But when they were originally marketing this game, they estimated that the engine that they used to create the different galaxies was about 16 quadrillion galaxies to explore. So, you know, there's more than enough room in this game for everybody. Where's my flagship? I gotta get to my flagship. Well, let's get away from the gravity well of this thing so I can actually navigate. There we go. Okay, there's the anomaly. Where is my ship? The Executor. Oh, there it is, right there. But you can mine all these asteroid belts. It's pretty remarkable. And I like the way that the ships in this game handle the way they should for their size. Like, this is a hauler, so it's big and clunky and not very maneuverable, even with the advanced designs that I've put into it. Crafting is really important in this game, and I'll show you a little bit about that here when I open up my inventory. So this is all the stuff that I have on my ship. I also have a freighter, and then I have my exosuit, which has some blueprints here. But my exosuit is completely maxed out as far as slots. What about my starship? Yeah, my starship has everything that's maxed out too. So we're going to have to offload some of this stuff, I think. But before I do that, we are going to go to a different galaxy. Because I I like to explore, but I don't like messing around with sentinels too much. They're quite a bit of a chore. So we'll go to the bridge. And we will warp to the next. Let's see, what do I have selected here? Current mission. I don't know what my... Let's go to the Galactic Core. What's there? Gek. Okay. Well, let's do it. Yes, I did take this ship because it looks like a Star Destroyer. Wow, they even reworked kind of like the warp transition screen. There we go. Alright, somebody else discovered this one before me, but that's fine. See the galaxy map. Oh wait, that's right, I gotta go back to my ship for that. And I think I gotta go over here. They changed the freighter layouts, so... I think I have 6 or 7 ships now, but this is the one I use the most. Because I like its... Oh, excuse me. I like that it has, oh wow, okay, that's a cool looking, space station. High sentinel activity. What? I don't like that. Copper, pyrite, and silver. What about this one here? Probably a dead moon. I don't know. High temperature. Ugh. High sentinel activity. Alright, well, what do we got here? Tritium rich. Don't care. Well, we're gonna go to the space station. Because I'm looking for a specific type of ship. And we're gonna just watch some ships come in for a little bit. Because I want to buy a specific kind. I'm looking for a specific kind of hauler. And hopefully I'll get a shot at it here. Alright. Oof. Need to get some more money though. Big time. Suppose I could sell some precious metals. I don't like doing that too much, though. What we got here? Do I have anything else? Not really. Okay. Let's see who else arrived. That's not the hauler I want. The ships have different kind of rankings. There's like common, and then there's the ones that I really look for are the ones that are unique. And usually there's a unique one in each system, but you gotta kind of be patient and see what comes in. Wait, I can actually analyze that? No, I didn't think so. Oh, is this a unique one coming in? Might be. Nope. That one's common too, I think. Yeah. We're not gonna worry about those. But there's also pirate stations too that you can visit. We're just gonna hang here for a minute and then we'll move to a different area. Give it another minute, see if anything flies in, and then we'll move on. Oh, here comes another ship just like the one that left. This one I'm reasonably certain is the same as the other one. Yep. Alright. Oh, well, here comes another one. This one looks like it's a fighter. There's different ship classifications, like there's hauler, there's fighter, there's explorer, there's shuttle. What is this one? That one's fairly common as well. Looks cool, though. Alright, we're going to jump back in the ship here. And we are going to blast off. Back on my capital ship. Why, you ask? Because I want to hit another system before that was one of the criticisms of this game too, was the automatic landing. A lot of people wanted this to be more like Elite Dangerous. I like it this way. I tried playing Elite Dangerous and the game just irritated me. I tried to get into it, but I couldn't get past the landing tutorial. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. And I have not played that game since. It should not be an infuriating experience to play a game, and that game, whoo boy, that was infuriating. There we go. Can't talk today, man. Okay, let's head there. Where with this game, it feels much more relaxed. Not so... I hate to say this, but it's not so grounded in reality. I get enough reality every day. I don't need more in my games. I just want to go fly around and explore things. And this game lets me do that. Yes, I did name my hauler the Kaiju of Redemption. There we go. Alright. Oh, that looks like it's been damaged. Alright, that's new. Whoa! Okay, those are... Alright, we know what those are. That's just a merchant fleet that is here. Looks like there's only one planet in this system. But wow, look at that damage. That's pretty cool. Well, that's awesome. Oh, this is an outlaw station. Alright. Cool. I'm not real popular with the outlaws, if I remember correctly. I've killed a lot of them. But we might be able to get a unique ship here. Might. What do we got here? Oh, there's one right there. Exotic. Yep. I already kind of have one of those. That's the word I was looking for. Not unique. I was looking for exotic. So there is one exotic ship here, and it's that one. But I already have one that's similar to that on my ship. So I'm not going to monkey with that one. So we're probably going to go back to the freighter here shortly. Call it a day. And I did invert my axis. I don't use traditional flight controls. I just don't like them. So when I push up on the stick, I go up, and when I push down, I push down. It's just how I roll. Here, I'll show you the unique ship I have that I was talking about. Or exotic. It's over here, I think. See, I already have one of those. And then I picked up this one. And I've got that. Those are ships I'm probably either going to salvage or sell. Just because I don't have a use for them, and I don't want to spend the resources fixing them. And then, is this one? Yeah. I've got quite a few that I'm willing to part company with. But I do see, with this newer update, like, the damage on the ships is much more realistic, which I really am impressed with. Again, I'm playing on a PS5. I have it for Xbox Series X. But if you haven't checked it out yet, you should. It's a fantastic game at this point. Lots of exploring to be done, lots of things to collect, lots of missions to perform. Visually, it's absolutely gorgeous, and they're gonna continue supporting it moving forward, so there'll probably be some more updates. But with that, as always, I want to say be safe, be kind, and remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, You are loved, and you do matter. Don't ever forget that. You've survived 100% of your worst days. Let's get through this one too. In closing, just hit me up on my socials if you have any suggestions for show ideas, or if you have games you'd like to see me review or play. And you can find all of my links in the description for the video and for the podcast below. But with that, hope everybody has a happy Easter, and I will talk to you next week.